Good evening. It's a Sunday night. Mark and Monica here from Magnificent Mindset.
Good evening.
So we're doing on a Sunday night tonight.
Yeah.
Yes. So
mixing it up a little bit.
We are. So trust you've all had an awesome day and having a great weekend, long weekend here in Australia, which is awesome. Recently, I've done some interviews in regards to my drug addiction in my past life. Hey Troy, how are you,
Troy.
buddy? About my past drug addictions to meth and marijuana and how I'd overcome them and what it was to where I am now, which is awesome. However, there's another part to that, and that is the part of the partner. How does your partner handle that when they hear that or see that happen? In regards, and we're talking about actually when you're informing your partner. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight.
Yeah, as Mark said, he's been sharing a lot about what he's experienced, and when he shared with me that he had been, I knew for many years that Mark had or was using marijuana, and I actually thought that he had stopped using it. It was just he had swapped one addiction for another so that I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
And he was using meth instead, and I had no idea. So he was sharing that with me, and it sort of blew my mind a little bit.
Yeah.
And I suppose that's what we want to talk about tonight, how to be with your partner when they are sharing that they are struggling with addiction. And it could be drugs, alcohol, it could be gambling, it could be porn, could be...
Oh, it could be anything.
Sex, could be anything.
Yeah.
So any addiction where... that numbs your feelings, numbs
Correct.
your thoughts, and I suppose that's what it's for.
Yeah.
So when Mark mentioned that he had been using meth for a long time, I was very open with him.
Yeah, so and we're talking 10 years ago when I came out and told Monica this. So as a person who is an addict and doing something like that, for them to share and to express that, it means generally they're in pain and they're looking and seeking assistance, and that's why they talk to their partner or someone else.
Otherwise they wouldn't mention anything. If they were struggling and they're not really ready to do anything about it, then they probably wouldn't. Hey Slajana, thanks for jumping on. They probably wouldn't mention it to you, and it's
Correct.
really, really hard in that state to do anything about it.
Oh, absolutely.
I tried for many years to try to convince Mark to stop in all sorts of different ways.
Monica hated that I was smoking marijuana.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I wasn't ready to give it up.
Yeah.
And so I used to use some bullshit excuses of this is how I relax, this is my thing, I earn good money, I don't go to the pub and drink, I don't beat you up, I'm a good guy. And they were my bullshit excuses. However, it's when we go to actually opening up when a person is ready and has found themselves in a bit of a position of like, fuck, what do I do now?
They're reaching out for help, and it's a very, hey Elizabeth, it's a very different situation.
Yeah.
So I knew in my heart of hearts that Mark was at that point, even though I had no idea that's what he'd been doing. There was all sorts of things going on in my head, but there was none of what I was showing. So I suppose the worst thing you could do is saying things like, why have you been hiding this? You've been lying. How long have you been doing this for? How much money have you spent? I can't trust you now. How can I be trusting you in the future? There's so many things that probably is going on in your head, but when someone's vulnerable, open, willing to share something so scary, being so vulnerable and not knowing how it's going to be taken and reciprocated.
Yeah, and sorry.
Yeah, the best way to be is to be supportive, to open up your arms and going, hey, thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
How can I be there for you?
And that's what I needed. And that's generally, I'm going to generalize here, a lot of people with any addiction, and as Monica mentioned before, whether it's gambling, porn, or whatever it is, they actually want they want to be loved and that connection there. So when someone is opening up and letting you know, fuck, I'm struggling and I've been doing this, it is about opening up. So
there's so much shame. There's so much shame involved and being worried about the judgment.
Yeah.
So,
because it would have been so hard for you. Monica and I have discussed this many times, but it would have been so hard for you to hear that. And so what else did you do? And we can assist out here as well.
Yeah, so first of all, just being there for Mark and listening and putting my stuff aside, because I was so happy that he was willing to do something about it. I just knew the way he was going about it, that this is different. So I just welcomed whatever was coming my way and put myself aside. And then we were talking about it. We were talking of, what Mark had experienced, what might have led to this, how he was feeling, what he wanted to do about it, and how we could go about seeking assistance for Mark. Me, on the other hand, I was freaking out on the inside, and I was having all the thoughts that I was saying before not to share. So I had to seek assistance from a coach, someone that I trusted. And that's what I did. I was in the background, I was going, ringing up my coach and going, what do I do?
Yeah.
Because in my head, Mark was also sharing, and I know that you don't mind me sharing, but having thoughts of, do I really want to be here? What else, do I really want to be here? How do I handle this? So my thoughts were going out, in normal situations, you get a psychologist involved. And I knew that if I was going to suggest that, Mark wouldn't go near it. And that's probably what people, if I would have shared this with people that didn't have the knowledge, they would have probably said what you were saying to me earlier, that, or friends or family or people that don't have the best intentions, but don't necessarily have the knowledge that we now have.
And the reason is because they get a bit emotional towards you as the person, as a friend, and they can tend to say, leave him or her, fuck him off, he's lying to you, or she's lying to you, what a dickhead.
So selfish of him.
Yeah, so friends and even family can take it down a different path, whereas you need to go seek some assistance. There's going to be...
You need to go and see psychologists, you need to get him involved in that, and I just knew that I would have lost Mark's attention in that moment if I suggested that. So I was so worried that potentially something would happen, and I was then responsible for Mark's life. But I still had to trust that I was doing the right thing and seeking someone that was actually going to be able to help him. And I'm not saying psychologists are not the way to go. I'm just saying that for Mark, I knew it wasn't going to work.
No, I went and saw a coach and had some awesome sessions and got myself to where where it all started, and it was awesome, and that's what it's about.
And then I had to go see a coach because I had to have the support of knowing that I was doing the right thing, and I had to have someone having my back, going, you are doing the right thing, and helping me on the journey of being able to be there for Mark and putting my stuff aside, and not putting my needs first.